Okay, so today we are looking at creating project statuses in Dubsado. And before I get into the actual way that we do that, I just want to explain, first of all, Dubsado CRM is built around projects. So if you're a coach, you can use the Dubsado platform, no problem. You just have to be okay with the language. It's project centric, so everything revolves around the projects. In comparison to other CRMs, they all have some kind of status. It's not necessarily a project status, it could be a lead status. But the project status set up in Dubsado is the piece that control it's your sales funnel essentially. It's the piece that controls where your projects are at different times, from them being a lead through to being a client and then offboarding. So it's just a matter of getting your head around the language that Dubsado specifically uses. So we want to go into this bearing in mind that we are actually building our sales funnel, even though it's called a project status. So first of all, we want to head over to the projects, and then we're going to go to customize. And in here, we can see the project statuses that are already set up, and we can add additional ones. So the first thing to be aware of in Dubsado is the difference between leads and jobs. And you get to decide which areas go from a lead to a job. So as a coach, let's imagine that you've got leads coming in on your website. So you have a Dubsado forum that you've put on your website, and I have another video for that. And somebody's filled in that forum and sent it in, and you're going to get a notification that it's come into your Dubsado system. And ideally, we want all of those to be flagged as new leads. So this status that we already have in here for new is correct. That's how it should be. So when you go into your project dashboard, which we'll take a look at in a minute, you should be able to see any new leads that have come in at a glance. And that's really key to setting up your project statuses and sales funnel. Is you want to be able to easily see where everybody is at various different stages. So new is a great one to have. So let's assume that you have somebody coming in off the website. We said that they fill in the form, they send it in, that's flagged as new. Then you would decide what your next step is. Now a lot of coaches would say, okay, well, I can read their information. I can see what they need. There was questions on the lead capture form that kind of asked them what they're looking for in a coach. So now I'm ready to move into the exploration call, or the discovery call, that free 30-minute session that you do to get to know your potential clients. So if that's the next stage in your funnel, then that's what you want to build in next. Now, at this point, they'd still be a lead. They haven't signed a contract. They haven't said they're coming on board with you. You're still looking at whether they're a viable solution as a client. So you're going to keep them in the lead section. So we have new, and then I already set up this. Now this says discovery call booked. You can do another option. So you could put in there discovery call invitation. So let's show you how to set that up. So you click on add status, and here you can choose whether it's going in the lead section or the job section. So we're going to do discovery call invitation, and we're going to save that. And I actually want that to be ahead of the booked. So if you tag people or put them in the status of a discovery call invitation, you know that everybody that's in this field that's categorized in this way, that you've sent them an invitation to your discovery call. And then if they go ahead and book that, you can move them to the next status, which might be discovery call booked. Okay, and then you'll go ahead and you'll have your discovery call, which is also your sales call. And so during that discovery call, you're going to talk about options for working with you. And what should happen normally, unless you want to add additional pieces in, is at the end of that call, you should be able to get a sense as to whether they're going to move on to the next steps with you, whether that be that they're now going into a coaching agreement with you, or maybe you've got something else that you want to offer them first. Some people like to do like a paid coaching that's just a one-off, that's maybe a bit longer, like a VIP coaching. before they put them into a package, just to get a better feel for them and to spend a little bit more time with them. And some people like to move them right into a coaching package. Either way, if you're moving them from once they've had their discovery call, if you're moving them into a paid project or a paid product, it would then become a job. Like, that's the distinguishing factor that I use, is whether they're paying you or not. Once they start to hand over some money, whether they've signed a contract or not, you can move them into the jobs area. So if this is all you need, new discovery call, invitation, discovery call booked, and then at the end of the call, they're like, yeah, I think I want to do the next step with you, then whatever your next step here is what we're going to create. So let's say you're talking about you have a 6-month package and you presented that and they decided they wanted to do the 6-month package. So maybe your next step in your sales funnel is that you need to get a contract out to them. So let's do contract sent. And at this point, they would still be a lead because no money has changed hands. So we're going to save that. And where did it go? There it is. Okay. So now we've got contract sent as our next area in the project status. And then once they sign their project, their contract, and they send it back to you, maybe the next piece you're doing is sending the invoice if you want to be paid up front. So then we would add another status that says invoiced. Okay, let's just correct the spelling on this one. All right, so now maybe you've sent them an invoice. So they pay their invoice and now they're a fully fledged client. You're ready to start working with them. So let's add another status that is maybe in progress. And, you know, these statuses are not set in stone. They're entirely up to you how you want to label them. We're going to make this one a job because it's now a client. So that'll come down here. So we've got it in progress. And the other one I would add is a complete. You can do things like on hold or, you know, whatever it is that helps you to organize the data that you've got in your system and know where everybody is. So we're going to delete this one because I didn't set it up right. This is a job. Completed. There we go. You can see that this also gives you a count of how many you've got in each column, and we'll take a look at it from the front end in a minute so that you can see it a little better. But, you know, this is basically you getting organized and understanding where your sales funnel is at, who you've got at what stage, knowing what follow-up to do with them, and also understanding how many jobs that you've got in progress right now. So, you know, if this is lacking a little bit, then maybe it's time that you started working through some of the leads that are sitting in here, making sure that you're following up and pushing them through to their next stage. So if we go back to the project area from the front end, up here you can see the sections that take from that project status piece. So we only have one dummy client in there at the moment. So you can see that you've got an all count. So it will add all of these together and put them all. And you can actually click on these and it will filter based on these. So if you just want to look at your new ones that have come in, maybe you've had 4 or 5 in a day and you just want to work through those, you can just click on that and that will just put the new ones in for you. If you've got a bunch of people that you want to invite to a discovery call, then you can click on that and work through those. So this is how you can organize your work and just see at a glance who is in what area. And the same on your jobs. If you just want to look at current clients, then you can go and look at those and it will show you in progress and completed. And then it gives you the combined totals. So what you've got in all areas in the combined. And also you have an archive section. Now, the thing about using a CRM is that you really want to keep it clean. You want to make sure that you're not spending time on lots of information that is obsolete because it just takes up brain space. It doesn't allow you to move things through correctly. So when somebody has finished their program with you, and if you're not going to like upsell them to something else and they're just done, you want to make sure that you're archiving these projects. And so you come over here to actions, you go to the drop down menu, and you have an archive and a delete. If you put someone in accidentally, you can by all means delete them. But if they've completed a program with you, I would suggest archiving them, because you can always pull that back. If they come back to you in the future, you can kind of pull that back in. I would always suggest creating a new project if they're coming back to work with you, just so you can see the, because it'll be a new contract and that kind of stuff. But basically, that's how you set up the project statuses in Dubsado. Remember, if you're using a different CRM, these might be lead statuses or something similar, but it's your sales funnel that you're setting up here. And that's just the easiest way to have things moving through your Dubsado platform, so you can keep it all clean and tidy. I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, take a look at the other videos that we have listed out on our channel. There's others that go more in depth into Dubsado, using it as a coach, as well as other platforms that we recommend. And if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and even leave us a comment. We love to hear from all our viewers as to how our information is coming across. Take care, and I'll see you in another video soon.